Hello again, everybody. Welcome to your super show, The African Beat on the Voice of America. And, today is very, very special. Like I told you earlier on the show when I started, I say, my guest is going to come from Zimbabwe. And I tell you, this guy is hot. He is hot. Because the first time I played his song, I didn't know I was going to meet him so soon. Yeah, I played the song Doing Damage in my native language. Woo! Just the title of the song actually captured my attention. But my guest in the studio today is Dumi Wright, a member of that team, and he's right here as my very special guest. Welcome to the African Beat, Dumi.
Thanks so much, David. I'm so happy to be here. Appreciate the opportunity to come and share the stories and talk about my background.
I want to hear that story. I want to hear the story when you were doing this damage in your native language and how you came all the way from out there to here to hit on hip hop. And tell me more about who Dumi Wright is.
So Dumi Wright is kind of like a lot of people, and you would be able to relate. I was just a young brother that was magnetized and attracted to this art form called hip hop music. And from the early days, I had my oldest brother was a DJ, and he's passed away, God rest his soul, but he'd bring home records. And this is in Zimbabwe when I was in primary school, as we'd call it there. He'd bring home records, and he was big into the music scene. And so I'd be listening to Loose Ends or Soul to Soul or, Run DMC and so forth. And the hip hop songs were so magnetic and attracted me to them. And I just knew, as I said in one of my songs, I wanted to be a part of it. And so I started writing my own rhymes. And if we've got some time, I can share the story because it's pretty much like, if you were to give it as a Hollywood script, they'd say, this isn't really believable, of how we went from being in Zimbabwe to coming over and signing a deal with a major record label, Hollywood
I saw
Basic.
that you signed with the Hollywood Basic. And so, let's take the journey from there.
Okay.
How you flew in all over from Zimbabwe and landed in Hollywood and landed in America and got this contract.
Yeah, so, I guess the moral of the story is think big, you know what I mean? And the sky's the limit, as they tell you. It sounds cliche, but so we were in Zimbabwe and there wasn't readily available access to hip-hop music. The stores had pop records and so forth, the bigger records, Michael Jackson, Madonna, Whitney Houston, but not really hip-hop, because at that time, if you think in the late 80s, it's up and coming, at least in the international scene in Africa particular, right? And so we got hold of this magazine called The Source, and they used to write about hip-hop all over the world, Japan, what's happening. And so we were like, oh, this is exciting. And at the end of the article, they'd always say, if there's some hip-hop happenings where you are, let us know. So we were in Zimbabwe, and we said, the time has come. That's our invitation to the party. Here we come. So we wrote a letter, and it blew their mind, because this was also the Afrocentric era of hip-hop. If you think of Public Enemy and X-Clan and the Jungle Brothers and King Son and artists like that, they were espousing those back to Africa principles and talking about finding your roots in the motherland.
And this letter is coming from Africa.
Yeah. And so here we are. We're the Africans that we're rapping about, and we've got a story to share. And so when one of the writers we wrote to, his name was Dave Klein. He went by Funkin' Klein. And he said, oh, this is amazing. He sent us some promos and records of, people like Queen Latifah and so on. And he casually threw out there, if you're ever in the U.S., look me up. We should talk. Little did he know.
It's like he was trying to open some doors there.
Yeah. But little did he know that was like, okay, we're going to take you up on that offer. So flash forward to about a year subsequent from that time, I was coming to the U.S. To attend college and see what other musical endeavors we could pursue. And my brother was already in upstate New York, and so I told him, I'm like, there's this guy in New York City. He said, if we ever come, we should meet him. So we said, let's work on some demos and get some real tight material, and let him hear it. And he's like, oh, the stuff that I heard from you guys is really promising. He's like, I had no idea what to expect. He's like, but when I heard it, he's like, and when I told him, like, hey, we're upstate New York, we can catch a bus to New York City, he's like, hey, let's meet. So he actually worked with a collective called the Red Alert Productions. So they were doing management and booking for Jungle Brothers and Tribe Called Quest. And he's like, come to the offices. So we caught the bus, threw on our dashikis and our beats. We're like, yeah, we're going to make a splash. And we got to, my uncle said, when you go to Port Authority, though, you might want to put a jacket on. So they don't know that you're out of town. They might take your stuff. So anyway, long story short, we went to his office and sat down. And he said, you know what? Red Alert Productions, I'm doing this, but I'm getting ready to go to the West Coast to start up a rap division of Hollywood Records called Hollywood Basic. He's like, so when I get out there, see the lay of the land, I'm going to try to make this project go forward.
So if you want to make it really quick, that was how this group actually came about.
That's how he came
That's
about.
how it came about. And then when he went to the West, he actually signed you guys.
He signed us. You know, everything takes time, but we went in the studio and cut some more demos. He got some producers that were known, like Mr. Long from the Black Sheep, and others to put together.
Man, you're no small guy. Yeah. You met with all the big guns out there. Come on now.
No, it was amazing.
And so when you said "come too far," that actually is the storyline.
That is.
I was telling, there was no way you can stop now.
No way we can.
And there's no way you can turn back
at all. I was telling Soul that. I was like, man, it actually came from that burden and frustration of, man, it's been such a long time and we've been going through ups and downs, but here we are. Here we are.
Now come on.
Still standing.
I love that one. And I just love that intro, "Come Too Far." When you that story can relate to a lot of people. A lot of people. People have come from difficult backgrounds, but today they are in some place, where they'll say, "Look at me now."
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't turn back. I didn't look back.
Yeah.
But let's look at the song that you're gonna play. Heard the plan. Like the job is complete, like you said.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about this.
So this song, I got to shout out Subatomic Sound System. It's actually part of one of the fun things in hip hop is collaborating, working with different artists and producers. So this beat is just on fire, and so I just wanted to, in it, express a little bit about my story and who I am, So I talk about my journey through African hip hop and even recording music on TDK cassettes way before digital era. And then in the chorus talking about, I heard the plan and we proceeded. I won't stop until the job's completed.
Until the job is complete.
So clearly the job's not completed,
David,
because we're still going.
We're still working on it, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So now we're going to get the song, the plan. The job is, I'll say the job is almost complete.
Yes. Yes. Job is completed.
All right. The African Beat on the Voice of America. And I'm David Vandy. My guest today is Dumi Right. Okay. When we come back, Dumi will tell us exactly the real Dumi, who the real Dumi is, because the name is longer than Dumi Right, okay? We'll tell you about that, but let's enjoy this one.
So, I want to break down exactly what I represent and what I believe in. So we gonna do it like this. VOA, Africa Beat, Dumi Right. We gonna do it like this. Do me right pon the mic, we keep it moving every single day, rapping, showing, improving. Feel the music hit you hard, but it's still soothing. Make the people throw their hands up and start grooving. Ain't no stopping and popping. Check the melody for those that chose to preach death. Here's the remedy. Selector, why don't you come down? Need more peace in the streets, so put the guns down. My introduction, I'm a brother from the motherland. More than music, it's a movement, so you gotta understand. Cats with their raps about cats, I see them, but nowhere to be seen when we chatting about freedom. What exactly do they contribute to the discussion? Speaking to my people over rhythm and percussion. African hip-hop, one of the originals, rocking on TDK tapes before the digital era. But did it bleed? Eddie Clara, you blame the whole world, but did you look in the mirror? Supposed to lead your nation, but your powers you abuse them. God gave you talent, he expects you to use them. Winds of change are blowing and the wheels are in motion. Pharaoh and his legions who got swept in the ocean. Antithesis of mainstream, call it subterranean. More drama than when your favorite team loses at their home stadium. From a melee to a riot, new sheriff in town, his name is not Wyatt. Battle for the control of the soul, there's no losing. That's why we gotta fix the chaos and confusion. Gotta get it together, I'm a man on a mission. Keep spinning, the clock keeps ticking. Gotta get it together, man on a mission. World keeps spinning and yeah. Heard the plan, and we proceeded. Won't stop till the job's completed. For too long, we've been mistreated, but we refuse to be defeated. Heard the plan, and we proceeded. It won't stop till the job's completed. For too long, we've been mistreated. Hey yo, this is for David. Dumi Sani when Zani, they ask me what I'm doing. And you thought about and growing, kicking lyrics that are new. Power to the people, our minds that are wet to. Gotta keep it moving from DC to Soweto. Zimbabwe in Lizwe, and Ivela Kona. Ika Loko, we are the Wona. And get to Hozala, we are the Funda. But when I yala, Sagaliasha, Swana Pella, Afuri Gutula, and Goma Nandi, and get to Yavuma, Bachelani, Saint Chalile, Chain Goma, Saint Fatila. Say Zimbabwe is the country that I'm from without a doubt. Word is born, yo, you should check it out. Come to the land so you can learn and understand. If you say no, I say man. Listen up, shut up, I'll tell you what up, B. This is definitely dope, don't you agree? Hey yo, kick it to him, that's what I've been doing. Gotta keep pursuing, but yo, what's that they're chatting about? It's called freedom. When it comes to rings and tings, we don't need them. Not the type to join them if we can't beat them. Just sit back and plot another plan to defeat them. If they don't speak the truth, we don't believe them. We the type known to get hyped for no reason. No matter whether cold or hot, we all season. All across the globe, we rock in any region.
All right, beautiful music for all you beautiful people out there. This is the African Beat again on the Voice of America, and I'm David Vandy. My guest right here, Do Me Right. You know, I normally love to ask people, you know, sometimes when you say Do Me Right, people know that Do Me Right is for the stage.
Right.
All right, this is for the music setting, the musical setting where you go to, but from people who are younger than you that are in Zimbabwe, and you've been out of Zimbabwe for quite a while, and they want to know exactly the originality of Do Me Right. What is the real name of Do Me Right? Because if I throw a bit out there now and ask people in Zimbabwe, especially the young folks, tell me the real name of Do Me Right.
So I'll break it down like this for people, abroad and everywhere. Do Me Right is actually the stage name that I coined from my name, Dumi Sani. And I love the name.
Dumi Sani is the actual name.
Yes, and I love the name Dumi Sani because it means praise. You know, Dumi Sani Nkosi, praise the Lord. You know, your folks in Zimbabwe will attest to that, right? It's a powerful phrase, and a lot of the names.
So have you ever done gospel?
Culture,
Let me come to that straight up.
Straight up. So that's actually interesting that you say that.
Don't tell me you started in church.
No, I didn't start in church, but I mean, I've been in the church and part of the church.
Okay.
I haven't always blended the music with the church, but actually on the new record that I have a song called Put on the Armor of God, because I figured, what a way to testify.
I know,
and if
right?
you listen to my songs, I've performed in places, and I had an elderly woman come up to me and she said, "Great testimony." And it wasn't even a gospel song, but just hearing the messages.
Testimony. It was a message.
Yes.
The message in the song.
Yeah.
And I saw that you performed at the Kennedy Center at the Millennium Stage. Tell me about that one.
Yeah, so that's a really cool, obviously auspicious venue. And the great thing about it is it's beyond the boundaries of where you traditionally expect to find hip hop culture. And so had a couple opportunities, but as Zimbabwe legit, to bring our interpretation of music and dance, because part of what we do too is expose all the elements of the performance art of hip hop culture. So we have dance, you obviously the DJ holding it down, because that's the foundation.
I know the guy is good, man.
Yeah,
good.
DJ RBI, big shout out. He's been my man holding it down for many years.
Talking about the Millennium Stage, I think we have that in common because I'm a theater artist too. I do acting
awesome.
and playwriting. I did a play at the Kennedy Center in 2010.
Oh,
right
awesome.
on that stage where you performed at the Millennium Stage.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, that was
That's
awesome.
a great
just
venue.
taking you back out of where you're coming from and to go and to a prestigious performance stage like that.
And you reach broad audiences that wouldn't
Exactly.
typically come to where you may be in the theater or club.
They cannot normally come, but there, people were sitting all over the place. Even on the floor, they were sitting there just to watch my play.
That's awesome.
And that was awesome. But now what is the group? What is Do Me Right? What should people be expecting from you now, going forward? Because like you said, you've come too far, and there is no way you're going to turn back. There's no way you're going to look back. You have to forge your head. So what should people be expecting now from Do Me Right?
So in the immediate future coming up, I'm putting out a new record called Do Me Right, doing it the right way, play on words. And it's going to be an exploration of, where I've been and what I've done and what I'm aspiring to do in the future, and just talking about my experiences and background, and talking about topical things, social justice and things that affect people in my community and in other communities where people can relate under similar circumstances.
So how would you say that hip hop music has influenced your life and that of your community?
I think it's such a pervasive medium, if you will, and art form that it's been embraced far and wide. I had the blessing and privilege to go as a cultural ambassador to Thailand, teaching hip hop like a little over a year ago, and going to underserved communities and seeing how excited they were about, oh, this guy's come from America to talk to us about hip hop, and that's the birthplace. And then they found out I was also my African roots, and they're like, oh wait, you're also from Africa? How did you get here in Thailand coming from America? But the thing is, it's a unifier. It brings people together, and I think it's allowed me to work with different communities and kind of help and bring people together. I also do workshops like in schools and working with young people, and using hip hop as a tool for more than just entertainment. That's one aspect of it, but you also use it to communicate, to educate and inform, and also for people to gain and youth to gain self-confidence and to express themselves.
Okay, like you talked about going back to the African roots, and people were asking you, because that's the next point where I'm going to come. Do you do your hip hop rap in your African language, in language from Zimbabwe?
Originally, that's what we started doing, as a way to make a mark, because at that point nobody was doing it. And of recently, we've been rhyming mainly in English and expanding, but that's where we started.
That's where you said that's where. And do you have an intention in going back to that and doing like a fusion?
One thing that we do like to fuse, so I like to work with artists from all over the continent, including Zimbabwe and South Africa and, different parts of Africa, and have people rhyme in multiple languages. There's a song that's not on that's on a prior CD called All Over the Map. And so you have somebody from Senegal, you have somebody from Nigeria, you have somebody from myself representing Zimbabwe, you have somebody from DC, and we bring all the cultures together and, talk about our perspective in our own way. And then also I like to bring in the influences of the music. So like I mentioned, like influences of like Fela Kuti or Hugh Masekela and stuff like that. And so bringing in, that Afro beat or Afro jazz or the djembe into the mix and into the fusion. So a lot of times when we perform even, in the right forum, we'll bring all those elements to bear.
Okay, so I know you didn't perform my favorite song today, which is the first song I heard about you guys, even when I didn't know it was you.
Doing damage.
Doing damage in my native language. So can you give me just a little bit of that?
Okay, yeah, awesome. So one of the things in the whole premise of doing damage, we're like, well, what if we were to take hip hop and slang phrases and translate them back and forth and kind of show people as a window into our perspective and experience. So we said, Dumi Sani, Uenzani. They ask me what I'm doing. Ngoma, kicking lyrics that are new and power to the people. Amandla Awetu. Gotta keep it moving from Brooklyn to Soweto. Things ain't too good. Nzima. Run and get it done. Kijima, Pangisa, Hambala, Chigela, Shisa. Let my people go. Hey, my Lisa. Hey, my daughter. That means hey, man. And we could keep on and on and on.
The way you said your name just now, Dumasani, it's like it's like hip hop.
Yeah.
All right, so let's come to another song. Let's come to another song today that you're going to perform. That is Just Another Day. Just Another Day. I listened to it. It sounds cool, and let's talk about it before we play. Just Another Day.
Yeah, so Just Another Day, as the name would illustrate, is just kind of talking about, in rap it's cool to, have bravado and talk about the jets you're flying in. But at the end of the day, sometimes we're just regular people, as they say in the song. We're just ordinary people, like John Legend saying, trying to juggle work and music and, your passions. And so Just Another Day talks about me and just going through it, man, and just trying to persevere and keep my head over
Every time
water.
you wake up in the morning, you look around and see all the same people around. It's just another day.
Just another
Going
day
to
in the
work
life.
is just another day in life.
Yeah,
Life has to
exactly.
go on.
Yes, indeed.
All right, let's enjoy the song "Just Another Day" by our guest today, and that is Dumi Right, Dumisani. I love the name Dumisani. I know you're Dumi Right, but I just love the way it goes. The Dumisani, I love
Yeah,
the
it
way
flows.
it goes.
It's
All
like
right,
a
we'll be
rap
right
word.
back. Don't go away. Just Another Day is coming up.
This is just a day in the life. Day in the life of a musician. Day in the life of an artist. Day in the life of a father. Day of the life of a young brother. This is just a day. It's a day in the life. It's just a day in the life. Yeah. It's just a day in the life.
This is just a day.
Just a day.
I pray I live to see another. Keep an open mind. You'll be amazed what you discover. So we can travel far if we lean on each other. So it's okay to fall as long as you recover.
Day in the life, and you gotta go to work. Had a late night, so you gotta stay alert as berserk. Fall asleep, then the boss starts tripping. Just got promoted, so you can't start slipping. Get a gripping. You don't want all your dreams to get trampled. Had a date with destiny, but seems that it got canceled. Laws that you're grasping from toss to plan of action. Got a lot of talent, and you're good at multitasking. Economy is slow, and with jobs there's a shortage. Money that you're making barely enough to pay the mortgage. People all around you giving up and falling off. You don't want to be the next one that they're hauling off. From hustling to struggling, making it to juggling. Prices going up and the cost of living doubling. Trouble and trending, so you're seeking a sign. Like an artist makes you wonder if you gotta draw the line.
Oh, this is just a day. I pray I live to see another. Keep an open mind.
Keep an open mind.
You'll be amazed what you discover. We can travel far if we lean on each other. It's okay to fall as long as you
As long as you recover, as long as you recover, as long as you recover, as long as you recover. Yeah, This is just a day. This is just a day. No doubt. But I think we gon' tell them about progress. What you think, Ron?
No doubt.
You think we should tell them about progress?
No doubt.
What you think, my man? We should tell them about progress. Progressive hip hop.
No doubt.
Yes, indeed. Beautiful music for all you beautiful people out there, and the African beat on the Voice of America, coming to you live and direct, straight from the heart of Zimbabwe. Yeah. Okay, now, before we go to our next piece of music, now you've been here for quite a while, and have you been back to Zimbabwe lately?
I think the last time I went was like 2.5 years ago. And I always say it's like always unfortunate. A lot of times the things that bring us back are like tragic circumstances and so on. But
Okay.
the last time I went, I won't talk about the sad things because don't want to break into tears on you. But we were blessed because there's an organization that was putting on the Shoko Festival. And this was beautiful, man. It was poetry, it was performances, it was art, it was dancers, and to see how far they have came too far. Because I know back in the day, people from Zim will know we'd be on First Street, sometimes with no music, downtown, having breakdance contests and competing or breakdancing in theaters after the movie ended.
After the movie ended.
And to see them have a stage.
When you went there and you listen to, or you've been listening to the music that is coming out of Zimbabwe, or even across Africa right now, and what you've learned here so far, how far would you say the African music has gone?
Oh my goodness, I think it's come so far, and a lot of it is due to the internet, social media, and just platforms where people can independently put out their music and their works for people to see. Obviously, like YouTube and SoundCloud and things like that have revolutionized it. Because I think back in the day, you needed a label. We needed to reach out to somebody
reach
across
out
the sea
internationally and
to
all
get
this stuff.
somebody to hear you. And now, you can create something in your limited sphere and then yet broadcast it literally through the power of the internet.
And you know what you're saying is so true, because I can remember some 12 years ago when I started the show, The African Beat, Voice of America is the first I'll say the only radio station in the world that will play or give an interview or talk to an artist for like 30, 45 minutes on a show. You know, it has never happened.
Right.
And so that the African Beat was actually created to create that platform, to make that platform wherein the lesser known African stars can have a platform where the songs, the music could be heard to the
Right.
world out there. So I am really happy that it is spreading like that and people are having a platform where they could be heard.
And it's great, just to jump in there, because like you said, unless you're like a major label artist with huge marketing budget and all this behind you, a lot of times it's hard to find outlets as an independent.
Yeah.
So definitely really appreciate this and this, this forum and this platform.
Well, thank you so much. And today you have a team. You have a team here. You had somebody who was doing your background vocals, and you have a DJ. You know, tell me about those guys. How long have you been working together? Because they seem to know exactly who you are.
Oh man, so me and these brothers go way back, man, to the first time I actually came to DC and was searching out that pocket of hip hop, and like-minded people tend to gravitate together and end up in similar areas. So I think of Capital City Records, the old record store that used to be on U Street, and somewhere around there I know I met DJ RBI, you know, the amazing. And then Soul, we met at Bar None at the Movement open mic, which used to happen faithfully every Monday for like over a decade. And people would be there expressing art and poetry. And a lot of big artists came out of that scene. So we had like a nice scene that was brewing in and around the area. Everywhere from U-Turn to Club Bintumani to this place and that place. And so I met those brothers there, and because we were kind of like-minded, we collaborated on either performances or shows or different events that were happening in and around the area. And we stayed in touch. DJ RBI has a radio show on WPFW, the Ill Street Groove Show, and my man Soul is a bona fide artist in his own right. I mean, he's done so much in and around DC, man. And he has an album out, and he works with a lot of other big artists on tour.
That's cool. That's cool.
So it's always great working.
It's nice meeting you. And,
it's wonderful working with these brothers, man. I really appreciate it.
Well, once again, I just want to say thank you so much for being out here, and thanks for all your patience, all the phone calls.
Oh no, this is awesome. I'm glad we connected. It's been a while because I've been recording, you know, with your colleague for a while. And we're talking about, Voice of America, there's probably a group of listeners that would love to hear what you're doing in the background. So I'm glad I could be here. This was great.
So I want to say thanks to Gary, and thanks to Nick, and thanks to our technician out there, our engineers. Thanks for doing such a fantastic job. And now we have this song, Prosperity, that we're going to climax with today.
And so, prosperity, this is one of those things, like life is always a balance, right? So the chorus is prosperity, struggle, harmony, strife, and it's talking about that struggle for balance, you know, between the light and the dark, and just going through it. And the whole thing, you know, my whole thing is persevere. You know, it's okay to fall down. You just have to get back up.
You just have to get back up.
You know, and that's what I want to communicate in my music, because that's what I've been through. You know what I mean? I've been knocked down, but I'm not going to stay down.
You're going to stay down. You're going to get up again. Rise up, man.
And I'll be stronger.
Still you rise.
Still I rise. Still I rise.
And any message for your people back home in Zim and those who be listening to you right now?
Just keep on being creative, keep on being innovative. You know, as Africans, we're an innovative people. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to do the same pattern that everybody else has done. Obviously, you use tools that have come up, but you know, when it comes to technology and apps, like, oh my goodness, the future is now, right? It's right there. We can grab it. You know, people are geeking out over Wakanda. You know what I mean? We can be Wakanda for real.
I know
what I mean? I see young kids.
There's this joke that somebody went to the airport asking, "Can you tell me where Wakanda is in Africa?"
I'm telling you, but straight up, there's a lot of innovative
Wakanda
young people.
For life.
Wakanda for life. You know?
All right. Well, thank you so much, bro. It was such a pleasure having you guys here in the studio, and I hope that when the new album drops, you're going to come here.
Oh, awesome. I would love to. So the album is going to be out in June, doing it the right way.
Doing it the right way. So get ready for that. Doing it the right way is going to come to you when that album drops in June. All right. Till then, I'm David Vandy here in Washington. And big thank you to my guest, Dumi, right?
Awesome.
And all other people right here. And big thank you to Gary for making this connection.
Awesome.
And so till we meet again, I am David Vandy from Washington, D.C., leaving you now with Dumi Wright and his team in this track, Prosperity.
Yes.
Till then,
At Do
peace.
Me Right. Twitter, Facebook, follow.
No doubt. Yup.
Okay. Prosperity. Yeah, we gonna go to the top like this. Prosperity.
Prosperity.
Come on.
Struggle, harmony, strife. Incredible, inevitable, the journey of life.
Yo, check it out. See, it's like this.
Hey.
Starting this journey, wondering who's coming with me. Looking over my shoulder, wondering who's trying to get me. The world collapses, time elapses, it gets more intense. Assess the situation, are they for or against? We don't associate like opposites, this diametric. Sometimes it's hectic, but still you're working to correct it. Looks like the clouds are swirling, you're just trying to rise above. In the midst of all the hate, you just want to find some love. More than two sides to this, is kind of like a prism. Seeds of division, people move into a different rhythm. Trying to find some balance so you can get back in alignment. Somebody's supposed to watch your back, but they missed their assignment. Trouble's coming at you fast, attacking from the blind side. Have to push that pride aside, you are fighting to survive. Even if you run and hide, one day you have to face it. Whatever it is you're seeking, hope you find it and embrace it. Prosperity, struggle, harmony,
strife. Incredible, inevitable, the journey of life.
journey of life, journey of life. Yeah.
Unity, division, wrong or right.
Wrong to right.
I'm looking for the light in the dark of the night. Oh.
Journey of 1,000 miles, now this brother's traveling, looking for relief from these dragons that he's battling. Gotta make a move, though these mannequins is challenging. Spirit of the ones who came before is who he's channeling. Trying to find a path from the ones who paved the way. Cause if we don't always keep them in our hearts, they fade away. We gotta keep them woven in the fabric of our memories. Help us through these battles and renew our source of energy. Remedies embedded in the reason we exist. Transforming pain to pleasure like the actions of an alchemist. Optimist, you see it all before it is completed. Always stay the course and refuse to be deleted. Defeated individuals, that's counter to your purpose. Understanding that the root of leadership is service. Right where we're supposed to be, there's no way they can hurt us. Cats that got each other's back, there's no way they can hurt us. Prosperity, struggle, harmony, strife. Incredible, inevitable journey of life. Journey of life.
Oh, unity, division, wrong or right.
Wrong to right.
I'm looking for the light at the dark of the night.
In the dark of the night, prosperity. Yeah. So fade that out, much respect. Big shout out to Soul. Big shout out to DJ RBI. Big shout out to David Vandy and Africa Beat. Wheel out music. So David, I just wanted to leave Voice of America Africa Beat. I wanted to leave y'all with this little nugget about me. Living life fast won't be no more, cause it's not just me no more. I got daughters plus orders from headquarters to be home by dark. I stop and think about the state of the art, reminisce about the days and times I started rolling. That was an age and a stage that was golden, holding the mic, controlling the dice like Mantronics back when the X-Man was a Seattle supersonic. From freaks come out at night to jam on it, I heard hip-hop, knew exactly what I wanted. To be a part of the scene, it was all a dream, and ended up in all kinds of magazines, energized to exercise the vibes that's unseen, done by the forces of nature that's unseen. So before I rest, I survey the progress. Thanks for coming out. Good night and God bless.